Okay, guys, so we have a friend and also a guy in my accountability group, the Lions Den. He has decided he wanted to come with G and join me in Brazil. So it's his first time in Brazil. I want to get his thoughts on, does he recommend coming to Brazil as a single man? What are his thoughts on it? You've been here how long? 2 weeks?
Yeah, about 2 weeks here, yeah.
First time in Brazil.
First time Brazil.
What are you thinking?
So we're in Recife, Brazil. It's a beach city, and so the overall experience, I've enjoyed it a lot. I think it's been really good. It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful culture, and beautiful beaches. There are beautiful women here. On the women's side, like I said, there's a lot more beautiful women than where I'm from in the United States.
What state?
Delaware. And so there's definitely a lot more beautiful women here. I would say if people were saying this when I came here, they were saying, women are gonna be chasing you for a green card or something like that. Don't fall in love with a chick or something. They're just trying to get a green card out of you. And I would say for here, it's not quite as difficult as women could be in the United States. I think women in the United States could be a bit of a challenge to, there's lots of feminism, lots of things in the United States. Here in Brazil, women, I think I have a little bit of an edge over people because I'm a white person from America, from the West, from Europe, or anywhere those places, you're gonna have a bit of an edge. It's still, you gotta have your shit together. You gotta have, you gotta, money muscles game. You hear people talk about that. You still have to have those things. Women aren't gonna be chasing you for a green card. They're not desperate for a white man or American or European or something. So
they're not easy.
They're not easy. So you have to have you have to be on your game. You have to be on point. If your topmost priority is you want to get with chicks and you want to have a leg up over people locally, I think there's other places that you can go that I've heard that are better.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You can still have, now there's girls here, there are a lot of pretty girls, a lot more pretty women than in Delaware. No offense to any Delawareans. It's still gonna be, like I said, you gotta be on your game, you gotta work for a little, not work, but you gotta take them on a couple dates, you gotta, go through that stuff. So it's not gonna be them just like, oh, white American, you're so amazing, I'm gonna fall head over heels for you. You gotta, be on your game for it.
So did you have any girls ask you they want to come to America? They want to marry you?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
So do you
So I think a lot of them would want to do that. It's positive. If you want to come down to your date and find a wife, any of that stuff, any of that range of things, it's possible. It's better than Delaware, I would say, or many places in the United States. It's but there's other places.
So, why would you recommend it if it's not easy?
Well, I still yet to travel to places like Colombia. I've heard are really great, or Philippines. I hear is a great place. It's a great place to visit for that reason. I've really enjoyed my experience here. So it's my second international trip I've ever taken. It was a few years ago. I had a girlfriend at the time. So I've had a really great time. I've been on a lot of dates with girls. I met a lot of girls. I've also put a lot of focus on trying to meet women, and I love the culture here. It's a beautiful place to be. So you gotta understand. It depends on what your priority is. If your priority is you want to find a lot of women, get laid easily, just know you gotta have your game on here. It's not gonna be just you talk to a girl and they're gonna fall head over heels for you.
You experience a lot of flakiness. A lot of girls flake.
Well, I'd say it's somewhat reminiscent of the United States, where if you get a girl's number, it's not a guarantee that they're gonna go on a date with you. So yeah, there's that side of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. I appreciate you sharing that. There's one thing I do want to talk about, what I ask you about. What is your impression of Carnival? And what was your impression of how the women reacted in Carnival? Some of the defensiveness, the the arrogance that you've dealt with that, or maybe you didn't deal with that. I don't know. I know Sheldon talked about that in his interview.
Not many people in Brazil speak English, so there's a good number of, like, if you're in more affluent areas, they'll speak enough English for you to get by to communicate. But if you don't speak Portuguese, it's a challenge. And at a carnival, especially, you aren't going to be able to have your phone out because there's pickpockets, or you got to keep your phone away, basically. So you can't have your translator out. There's also music, there's dancing, there's this crazy experience. You can't have a translator out. So it's challenging for that reason. And then there were a couple women that I talked to that did speak English, and yeah, it seemed like they were almost somewhat defensive, and it was a little strange because I wasn't even overtly hitting on them at the time. I was just commenting hi or something. I forget what I said, and so yeah, there was somewhat of a defensiveness. What I've heard is a lot of Brazilian guys are very aggressive. So I think in the night game scene or Carnival, they're a little more on guard because Brazilian men are very aggressive. Which I did see at one bar, some guy was very overly forward after being rejected with some girl, and so I think there's that aspect.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I had a great time, so I think it's a good place to visit. Yeah, they're just temper your expectations if you think Brazilians are going to be chasing you for a green card. You know, you gotta be on your game, you gotta be dressed well, you gotta present yourself well, you gotta be confident. If you wanna get a pretty Brazilian girl to be interested in you, it's still a really fun place to be. Beautiful beaches, beautiful culture. I definitely enjoyed the trip here.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for doing the interview.
No problem.